unaccompanied is my favorite way to perform. I get to exploit my skills as a jazz player and composer. The process started for me when I was a teenager. It had become evident to me that performing music for people is what I wanted to do. At 18 years old, I heard a recording of Stanley Clarke's Spanish Phases for Strings and Bass. It was a life-changing experience. And that's when I got the idea to perform unaccompanied. His sound, his way of playing, was different than what I had heard before up until that point. I gave my first unaccompanied performance at my high school senior recital, and I played a piece that I wrote called Junie, based off of Junie Booth's improvisation that he did in McCoy Tyner's band. After I stopped going to Berklee College of Music, I got a job as a home health aide. Great job. I learned a lot about life and how important music is to non-musicians. As a part of the company's Christmas party, my contribution was a piece I wrote that I named after the company called Intercommunity Home Health Aid Service. And eventually the title got shortened to Home Health Aid. At the time I was working as a home health aide, it came clear to me that I needed composition lessons, and I was able to get those from a man named James Forte, who eventually became my mentor, and I also named my child after him. Training with him, he opened the door to how to perform, how to improvise compositionally. One thing he told me that always stuck is, it's the same creative juices to improvise as it is to compose. We bassists are creative and varied. We are snowflakes in the good sense of the term. No two improvising bassists are alike. The best example of this is Mark Dresser's and William Parker's Deep Tones for Peace. It's a huge collection of unaccompanied low-frequency players. And my contribution was this next one I'm going to present, called Ode to Charlie, dedicated to Charlie Hayden. When listening to bass, it's highly recommended that you use headphones or speakers that reproduce low frequencies well. If not, you'll be missing a lot of nuance and depth. What helped develop my artistry is something that's kind of a regular occurrence in jazz, where the other members will drop out and allow the bassist to do a free-form solo. Colleagues know this is something that I do, and they often encourage me to do it. As bass players and rhythm section players, we play continually, and that goes a long way in shaping how we improvise and how we perform. Other instrumentalists in jazz may only state the head and wait for their turn to solo, but as rhythm section players, we're playing throughout. The next example was created and performed spontaneously. I'll create a motif and then elaborate on it and see where it takes me and the audience. This is from a gig I did with Ray Anderson on trombone and Jeremy Karlstadt on drums at a venue called the Main Drag in Brooklyn. What I'm experiencing as an improviser-composer is a ride on an energy wave. I latch onto the wave and go through it from beginning, middle, and end. And my job or responsibility is get the audience to experience that wave through music. It's exciting and a stimulating way to experience playing, and it gives me inspiration to keep doing what I do. The more I train and the more I study, the more that I see that I can do. I focus on internalizing the four elements that make up music: melody, rhythm, harmony, and form. I play songs by ear. I develop an internal pulse. I analyze harmony and try to memorize songs as I'm playing them and be able to feel 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 32 measures. And I'm trying to do all this simultaneously. I saw an interview with Branford Marsalis, and he said, the jazz musician is the most versatile musician. In my early days in New York, somebody saw me walking down the street with my bass in the Village and eventually offered me a job in his band. He said he liked to hire jazz musicians because they learn his music the fastest. I understand their point. Their point being, in order to function well as a jazz musician, you need to be able to internalize and have facility with the principles that make up music. My final examples are from my Underground Railroad show. I've arranged coded Negro spirituals from the Underground Railroad that enslaved Africans used to get from slave states to free states and Canada. I want to thank Amy Frawley and Impact for providing me the opportunity to talk about what I do, and John Grun for the production. If interested, you can learn more about what I do and where I perform by going to my site, HilliardGreene.com, HilliardGreene.com.
We're very, very pleased to have Hilliard Greene here to present this original, very special program for Black History Month. Please join me in welcoming him.
In 1619, slavery began in the USA. Abolitionists and Quakers were instrumental in helping slaves escape from the South to the North. The Underground Railroad was the most important way out of slavery leading up to the Civil War. Not a literal railway. The Underground Railroad was a network of people, places that offered refuge and legal aid to runaway slaves. In this afternoon's performance, I will be playing music based on the coded spirituals that runaway slaves used to outwit their masters and elude capture. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home? A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. You had to be clever and clandestine when you ran. It was dangerous to escape, and the consequences were severe. One of the things to do to help you escape is you walk through water. The bloodhounds can't chase you when they can't pick up your scent. Wade in the water.